Alright guys, we got a 2015 fit here. It's a 2000 to, I don't know, whatever the years are. I got dryer sheet on the back window. I got the wiper arm removed. It's not necessary, but it does make life easier. And I've got 44 inches of GeoShield's ceramic. And I'm going to show you how to do this back window real quick. Shouldn't take us too much time. This is a pretty easy one to do, I think. I've actually never done one before. So we get to learn together. Some of you guys have been watching me for a while. Might be wondering what I'm doing using GeoShield. Normally I use Helios. Long story short, I'm thinking about making the switch, so I ordered up some sample rolls, which is also why I'm doing this back window in a 36-inch roll rather than a 24. But is what it is. Alright, so what are we going to do with this? Well, we can use this offcut, obviously, for our little quarter windows that we have on this car. I don't think we're going to be tall enough. Oh, shoot! We can get a window out of them. That's nice. We'll lay that right here. Sample rolls. Let's show you guys what this is. Pro Nano 20. One thing I wasn't expecting from GeoShield is you actually have to buy your sample rolls. I've never had to pay for sample rolls before, but oh well. I mean, I can understand they don't want to just give everybody a sample roll, because then you'll have tenors that are just, you know, doing some kind of side hustle deal, and they'll just run around and get samples from a bunch of different companies for free and then be making money off of them. But at the same time, when somebody's got a reputable business that's been in business for years, I don't know, I feel like that's a little bit different, and you should probably be willing to send them at least one roll for free. But I will give them credit. I will give them credit. They did. I opened up their Pro Classic, which is a color stable film, today, and did a car. It says it's a 10-foot roll. It ended up, the masking tape they put in there said 20. That was supposed to be a 10-foot roll of ceramic. It ended up being 15, according to their, like, again, they masking tape it and put what it is on there. So that's cool. They did send me extra, but I was a little bit surprised that I had to pay. Not that I'm super upset about it, you know what I mean? It's just kind of one of those, like, they're like, yeah, we can send you some rolls. I'm like, oh, sweet. And then they're like, we need your credit card information. I'm like, okay, because they need to start an account. And then it's like, yeah, by the way, you have to pay this much for this and this much for that. And I was like, oh. But it is what it is. So far, I'm pretty impressed. I'm liking it. Too early to tell if I'll switch or not, but that's the trickiest part, is getting up there where you can't see. So what I like to do is just kind of do it by feel. And see, like, I don't know if you can tell, we got a little bit left to shrink up there. Probably just one quick little pass through there, and it should lay down enough. If we need to, we can shrink it on the inside. Like if we have a little bit of a finger or whatever, we can address that when we lay it. But I like to get what I can done on the outside. Just that way you don't have to worry about it. So far for a ceramic, it seems to shrink really well. So let me explain something real quick. I started just shrinking down here a little bit rather than just staying up here because I've got really big fingers. Now, what some people will tell you to do is leave enough overhang that you can pull shrink it. I'm not really a huge fan of pull shrinking. So what I'm doing is I'm basically shrinking this up so that when I shrink this down, I don't end up with like shrink, and then have all this film and then end up having a crease. I don't know if that makes any sense. I can't really explain it any better than that, but if you know, you know. So basically, like, if you've got a big finger like this right here, and you only address it up here, you're gonna shrink, and then this finger is gonna shrink, but then once you get to a certain point, you can't shrink any more material, if that makes sense. So if you go past your finger and shrink the bottom up a little bit, then you're getting rid of some of that material, and then you can come back up and shrink like normal. You don't have to worry about creasing it as much. So now I melted this edge right here. I don't really care because my border's clear over here, so I've got 1.5 inches. So just worry about getting this all shranked. On windows that are curved like this, so we have a curve that's going this way and a curve going this way. This is a very bubbly back window, especially when I'm using a new film or film I don't have a lot of experience with. I don't like to keep the heat gun in one spot. I want to keep it moving. So like that's why like I could have came back and stayed right here and shrank this out, but I just jumped over here to address this and then I'll come back. So that way I don't worry, I don't have as much of a chance of melting the film or doing anything crazy, because I'm not too proud to admit I don't have any experience with this film. I literally just opened it. I got my big sticker here. That's my logo. It's an old sticker. So we're gonna shrink right here. I should have razor bladed that off before we started, because I plan on blading it off anyway. But it is what it is. So anyway, what we got going on here, this is a complete remove and retint So I got the old patterns in here. I want to just compare the color difference, because this is old tint. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So it's about six years old. I don't have to turn the light off, but it helps, you know. This part is honestly no different than anything else. I'm not worried about cutting this little sticker at all. So normally if a customer had a decal or something that I was worried about, I didn't want to cut, I would take my hard card and slide it up under there and then cut it. You could either trace it. You could trace it and then cut it. Trace it with a marker or whatever, then cut it off, but not really necessary. Now, before I go ahead and pull this down, I'm going to go ahead and just touch up this bottom edge. All right. Oh yeah. High quality art right there. So this is basically rocket surgery right here. I want to cut on the top side of my Sharpie line, and I'm not really worried about actually even getting that close to it. I don't care about being dead on. I know I've got enough border inside, I can tuck that much film. So before that falls down, let's go ahead and see if we can't shrink up this top edge just a little bit more. Shrinking it up without burning it up. Without burning it or melting it, that's the goal. Oh, you probably noticed that the door panels are off of this. Again, full removal, retint. This is actually my old car. I ended up selling this to my mom, and so I traded my mom for a couple days so I could test out this Geo. She gets a free ceramic tint job, and I've got somebody that I talk to on a regular basis that can give me feedback on if the film's performing well, if it's doing what it should be doing, if it's, you know, gonna peel or curl or anything like that, you know, 2 weeks from now or whatever. I highly doubt that it will, but I would want to know these things before I go stick it on a customer's car and backing it with a lifetime warranty. So, you know, that's where we're at with that. Go ahead and get that dryer sheet off there. I am going to stick this window and call it a night though. So, since I did you know, remove the old window tint off of this window, and I've scrubbed it and everything, but I am going to go ahead and give it 2 squeegees. That's on the outside. Go ahead and squeegee it twice, just to make sure. Shouldn't be really anything to worry about, but you guys saw the old tint on here. Every window had dust in it. I can't believe I didn't make the guy warranty it out. But the sad thing was, he's like one of the biggest names in this area when it comes to window tint. And yeah, I don't know, like, I guess, like, this is the last car that I ever had professionally done, because I mean, I didn't even, you know, I didn't really even know how to tint at the time. But then, like, man, once I started, I should have been like, man, that's crazy. But yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully we can get this without getting a bunch of dust in it, because we got the AC on, and that's not what I wanted, but we'll take that, I suppose. Let's see. Oh man, so this is my biggest complaint with my other film. If I use the color stable film that they offer, which is my biggest seller, because, you know, we're in Ohio, it's not really that super hot. And then I went to the carbon or ceramic. The slip solution was way off, man, just way off. And like, so if I had it where it was nice, where I could finagle it a little bit for my color stable, and then I go to lay a window with carbon, it would just be like, you couldn't even squeegee it, because it would just try to push the film everywhere. And then if you you know, a lot of times, even just a slight temperature change, it would curl the film off the glass, which is, you know, pretty typical if you have too much slip. But the problem is, like, when you're running a keg, it's, you know, you can't be switching your slip solution around every other car, otherwise it really doesn't benefit you to run a keg. You might as well just run spray bottles if you're going to do all that, and I don't have time for that. So here's a little issue we've got right here, mainly because we didn't get a good shrink right there. So we could sit here and keep fighting it, but what we're going to do is just make sure we squeegee out the rest of this window, make sure everything looks good here. You know, I'm hard passing right now. I'm putting a lot of pressure on it. Get my little foot here. Little foot's one of these squeegees that, or corner tools, or whatever you want to call it, that I didn't know I needed it until I had it. So anyway, we can sit here and fight that. Now, no one is ever gonna know that we had that little finger there. Get this all cleaned up. There you have it, guys. Tell she ran an old wiper blade a little bit too long there, got the little streaks in there, but dude, that's 50 times better than what it did look. So I'm super happy with that, super happy with how it laid. It went really well. This back window needs detailed and clay barred, but it works, man. I'm liking GeoShield. I'm liking it. What can I say? Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one.